guys, it's Wrath here. I had a little bit of a problem with the last upload for the stream. We had some technical problems, so I decided to just scrap it and start from scratch so that I could help you guys understand etiquette and just kind of kick butt in etiquette without having to go through as many growing pains as I had to. I do apologize it's taken a couple days for me to find the time to actually re-record this, but I do want to thank you for your patience. I'm still working with some new equipment that I'm not entirely sure how it all works, so I also want to thank you for sticking in there with me and being patient with me. So what we went over on Thursday was actually etiquette, which is going to involve all of your costumes, and it's also a little bit of a competition. Because etiquette is kind of tricky, I do have a couple guides put together, and if you are on my Discord, you get some of these guides for free. Some of them are for Patreons, but I'm also still working on a few things. To start off, I want to show you one of the guides that you can get for free. It's going to be costume list free when you go onto my Discord. And if you're not on my Discord, I'm going to put a link in the description for you. Or you can find me in game, shoot me your Discord name, and I will be sure to add you. So the first thing that we have is actually a complete list of every costume in the game. I have it organized so that if you have a male and female toon, you can mark off which costume you have for which one. You can also see, like, for the jingle bells, you see how that's blank? That means that there is an heir costume for both your male and female heirs that match this costume for the adult. And I made sure to include a little key at the bottom. I have marked each costume that's craftable, the ones that you actually can purchase in the shop, and the ones that you can purchase in the bonus shop. If there's no marking, it's one of those event-only costumes, which is going to be the majority of the costumes. What I like to do is I tend to print this off for myself personally, because I just like to have like a binder where I have all my gaming stuff. So you're more than welcome to print this off. And because this is free, if you want to share it, go ahead and share it. It's awesome. The other sheet that I want to show you is, this is actually my etiquette reference sheet, and this has all of the answers for the multiple answer questions. It also has the extra attributes that are kind of hidden until you go to the scoring screen. And I'm going to show you how useful this can be, because each time you have to make your costumes, there's all sorts of crazy stuff that you have to go through with it. So let me actually go back to our etiquette, I want to show you how to do things the long version, and I also want to show you how to do things with the short version. So the long version is basically when you have absolutely zero VIP level. You get basic perks with each VIP level, and unfortunately, with the way the game is designed, you actually do have to have at least VIP 3 to have anything that's really worth being a VIP member for. It also makes the game so much easier. Now, if you don't know how to get into the etiquette screen, all you have to do is go up here to your fun, find where it says etiquette, and click participate. I'm picking the Ghost Festival because I know I haven't scored the best in Ghost Festival. And I'm going to start with Sacrifice. When you are looking at the etiquette guide, find the chapter and Valentine's Festival. So if you look under Ghost Festival, when we go to Sacrifice, you can see how I have what chapter it's in, and then I have what each costume chapter is titled to make things easier. And then I have the attributes of the celebrities that you need. And when we're looking at the attributes, if you go in, you'll see that the dignitary attribute. A lot of people don't actually pay attention to these, so I want to walk you through it. When you are picking out what dignitary you're going to have with you, you're going to match these attributes to this little chart. This chart is also called Palace Life when you are under your own personal profile. So what you're going to be measuring is which is going to give you the best of all three. Wong Farong is not going to be the best for this one. If you look at Mu Beifeng, you'll see health is 480, his aura is 300, and his luck is 300. So I kind of try to look through and see where I'm going to get the best I can for all three, because you get a bonus with the better the matches with your dignitary. And let's see, 600 for 80. No. So in this case, even though Mu Bexi has a smaller aura than most of the other characters, the other dignitaries, I actually pick him because of how high his luck is and how high his health is. So I go ahead and invite him. Now, when you're picking your costume, you'll see that there's only 2 attributes that are listed. And this is important to pay attention to because the better your score is with the matching attributes, the better your overall score will be. However, there are hidden attributes. So under sacrifice, you're not only looking for the ghost and warm attributes for your clothes, you're also looking for the lively attributes. This is the only way I actually figured this out was when I put my costume on him and I click confirm, it will show up afterward. So let's go through and we're going to quickly just pick a costume for him. And if you go with Ghost, you see how it said no suitable costumes with this attribute. That's because there isn't any hair costume pieces that actually have the ghost qualities. So we'll go with warm instead. And when you click on each costume piece, you're going to see an attribute list. Now, there's a couple different ways to adjust the attributes. You're always going to end up using whatever the current is. The highest is if you level up this costume piece so that it's red, and you have the max level on the costume piece as well. And you can see how big of a jump that is. It goes from 720 as its base score up to 2400 as the top score. So make sure that you're always looking at the current score. And I typically will go through and I'll spend 15 to 20 minutes actually going through every costume piece that's listed. See, because when you know what the third and fourth little attributes you're looking for are, you can actually adjust your score accordingly. So typically I would run through, find what has the highest warm score, and then I would also go through and see what has the highest lively score, and then I'll try to find which costume piece has the highest warm plus lively plus ghost scores available, and put those on. But this is so I can show you real quick. If for some reason, let's see. So this is all the warmest costume pieces that I have. If you probably saw, whoops, where ornament, you see how this set has this plus 15? That's because the current costume that I'm wearing, this costume piece is at level 15, which helps increase the score. So if you're playing and you do not have VIP 3, you're going to have to go about doing your etiquette a long way to increase your highest max score. So typically, without VIP, you're going to put on the costume. Then you'll go over here to custom, and you can see where I've put together a couple different costumes for different things. There's the simple, cool, elegant. So, because this costume is all of my worn pieces, I'll go ahead and save the costume under worn. And pay attention to the score right now. Because the score is 5,202, that's without any enhancements done on the costume. So we confirm and go into our scoring. See how lively popped up there with the scores? That's how I know that lively is another part of the score. And there you have it. That's the final score. If it's below that halfway mark, it means you didn't score high enough to get any stars. So you can see how it says story failed. So what I do from there is I will back all the way out. I will go to my costume. And if you scroll to the bottom, you see your costumes. You go ahead and you put that costume on, and you're going to save it. It also knocks down your rating. Now that we're wearing the costume that we want for the etiquette that we're trying to do, we'll go over here to where it says Costume Enhance. And ignore this for the moment. We're going to go to where it says Inherit. Now, under Inherit, you see where it has your equipped costume. And then you see the costume pieces that are leveled up. So what we do from here is you click From, and then you're going to click the costume piece that you're going to be setting to 0 and inheriting all the enhancements from. And you can see that your rating will go back up. I've actually seen people who have different costume pieces leveled up because they don't know how to inherit. And that's why I'm showing you how to inherit the attributes, the bonuses, because this is going to give you the best rating you can with the costume that you want to wear. So, once I've inherited all the attributes from different costumes, I know that I'm ready to go back through that etiquette chapter again. Now, I do have some costume enhance items that I can use. So, like my 2 pieces that are rated, that are leveled up to level 14, I'm going to go ahead and level those. You don't get to choose how many of the item you can use. It just gives you the 1 level, or you can max enhance, which just throws everything in there until you run out of items. But I definitely recommend paying attention to what level your costume pieces are, because as your complete costume that you're wearing levels up to certain aspects, like right now I'm trying to get all of my costume pieces to enhance to level 15, you get these little tier bonuses. And this is why it's important to make sure that you level everything up in a fairly even way so you can get the perks without having to go, oh my god, I have one costume piece that's level 30, all my others are level 12. It is possible to mess up when you are inheriting costume pieces. I have accidentally left the same costume piece in 2 and inherited from two different other pieces, which it increased the one costume piece up really high, but it kind of messed me over when it came to actually getting all of my perks. So anyone below VIP is going to have to do things this way to get the highest score available. So when we go back in, and we are already wearing the current costume, if you click History, it will pull up the dignitary that gave you the best bonuses and the highest scores. Now, remember how we had their costume on without any of the enhanced levels? It was only 5,202. But now if you look, the warm attribute is 6,918. And you actually have a little bit of a ghost attribute there. That's 240. So then when you wear your costume, you actually get a better score. And when your celebrity comes and joins you, okay. So you see how much better the score is. Pay attention to the top of the screen. Up here where you see 5,030 more, that is how many points you need so that you can get a full 3 stars on this chapter of Etiquette. And the reason why I point that out is because sometimes if you're just going for your 3-star rating on every chapter, this is going to help you know exactly what you need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and skip back through. And we have the star rating. One of the things that most people do not know when you are doing etiquette, you see how you have these 2 people who are scored as best? There is a little secret that not many people know. If you click in that box, it will pull up the costume they were wearing, what the level of each costume piece was, and it also shows the dignitary that was used. So if you're going after the highest score, you know that you can copy these costumes and wear them. When you go and click on each costume piece, you can see what the name of the piece is, what costume it comes from, and you can try that piece on. You can go and enhance that specific piece. And there have been times where people have actually scored higher than me, but because I knew I had a better bonus from my level than they did, that I would go through, I would copy their costume piece for piece, and then go and run the chapter. There's a lot of things you can do to actually affect the rating of each costume piece. So the first thing you can do is you can enhance the costume pieces. If you go down here to inherit, you can inherit the costume level for each costume piece. If you go into advance, this is where it gets a little bit more tricky. I am going to show you. So you can also advance costume pieces, and it's going to cost these costume books to advance your costume piece. Basically, what you're doing is you are taking the costume piece from a common level up to a rare or elite level. And I will show you this. You can always purchase these costume books. Each one costs a different amount according to its rarity in the game. And typically for that one daily where you have to buy something from the store using gold ingot, I'll typically just buy one of these costume tailoring 101 books because it's only 5 gold ingot and allows me to save up for other things without setting me back a large amount of ingots. So when you advance, it's like leveling up. You can see how it went from the tan color to green. You can also see where the rating increased and the defense increased. So you want to save up all of these costume books so that you can increase the rating of each of your costume pieces. One thing I strongly recommend against: do not go through and buy all the pieces to get all of your costumes to the red level, because that's a lot of money going down the hole. If you find one costume, or you come up with a costume that you absolutely love, you're going to wear it forever and a day, it's the only costume you want to wear, then go for it. Max out the costume so it gives you the best ratings and the best bonuses. But don't do that with every costume. Go slow. Level the costume pieces up slowly, because you're going to get these books for free. You get them from doing etiquette. You get them for completing etiquette goals. The other thing is your crafting. When I am crafting costumes, I like to try to craft an entire costume at one time, or I will focus on a single costume. Like if we click on this and we click on the highlight, you can see that I've crafted every other piece of this costume except for the hat. As you complete each costume, you get bonuses. It increases your rating for having a complete costume, which is why I say focus on one costume at a time. Now, etiquette, when you're ranking in etiquette, you get certain benefits. You get costume stones that you can use. There's these little packs that actually have the costume books that you need to level up your outfits. When it comes to etiquette, a lot of people are shooting for that first place goal because they don't want to have just the small ceremony boxes. This is actually one of the few places that does not give the runners-up a very good amount of prizes, because when you go into any other ranking within the game, second and third place tend to get about half to 2/3 of what first place gets. First place in etiquette is the only place where they get a good amount of stuff. They get the costume enhanced stones. They get these neon crystals. The neon crystals are used to exchange for costumes in the store and are also used to buy your air costumes. They also get 5 of the advanced packs, which is going to be basically your advanced costume books. The ceremony box. The ceremony box is the only box that has etiquette clothing that you can win. And you only get one piece of clothing per box. And there's 3 costumes. So, to win all 3 costumes, you basically have to be first place for 16 weeks. Because this is only awarded Sundays at midnight. Server time. So, when you're looking at the ceremony boxes, if you're one of those people who want to have every single costume in the game, I recommend doing your 16 weeks of winning etiquette and then let somebody else have it, because there's only those 3 costumes. And that's basically being on top in etiquette for 3 months straight. This is one of those areas where it's like, try to be courteous to other players in the game. If you go to your schedule, this is where you date dignitaries and get to level them up. As you can see, I have almost every dignitary unlocked right now, except for the Empress Dowager. I try to focus on one celebrity at a time, maxing them out, not only for their bonuses, but also as you visit each dignitary, their palace attributes are going to level up as well. So by leveling up each dignitary, you get better attributes for them when it comes to doing etiquette. And I'm going to show you one other thing with etiquette. So if you have VIP 3 or above, there is a little trick that exists. What you will do is, after you've invited your celebrity, you go down here to where it says max enhance level, and you click that little box, and it will actually change your costume attribute score. What this does is every single piece of that costume, so all of your hair costumes end up getting the level 15 or whatever level that piece of the costume is that you're wearing. Let's see. I think it was, okay, so how my level of the makeup I'm wearing is 14. It's going to have 14 listed as every single costume. So when you hit history, it's also going to bring up your best score, the costume that gave you the highest score. If you click restore, it goes right back to what you're wearing. So always go with history. And then when you go into each costume piece, try to figure out if, say, well, this costume piece has a high score in gallant. But if I go to this costume piece, it's not really comparable. Maybe it is. Yeah, it is comparable. If you add the gallant and the simple together, you end up with 1,650. Okay, that's a little bit better than this piece. So you change into that piece, and you can adjust your costume piece by piece by paying attention to that. And then when you invite your dignitary, it will also still give you a better score. Now this score is a little bit higher than the one I had. I only had 2 stars when we started this chapter, and as you can see now, it gave me all 3 stars. To get each and every costume piece, if you only are getting 2 stars, you can hit the quick battle, and it will give you the designs kind of randomly. Typically, if you get 3 stars, it automatically gives you the costume piece to make. Also, when you are focusing on building costumes, pay attention to what the possible drops are, so that when you go and you're looking at what costumes can I craft, you can go, oh, I don't have this piece. You can obtain the different costume materials. You can purchase them, which I strongly suggest against. You can obtain them in the royal household, which is why everybody gets so ticked off if you steal in royal household. Or you can obtain it in etiquette. For the less rare items, the purple and below, the best place to get them is actually etiquette. If it is the gold or the orange items, these items you're pretty much only going to get in royal household. And if you don't get it in royal household, you have a chance of getting them through etiquette ranking, or as you collect the star rewards. There is actually a place you can go where you have every single costume in the game available to you. If you go into the archive, you can see every single costume that's available. I'm going to go over here to return. So when you click on these costumes, it will bring it up. You can see what it looks like when the character is wearing the costume. If you click on that, you can see whether the costume is craftable or purchasable, or if you have to obtain it via an event. I know the Remote Hermit is event. So you can also view each costume piece with what you're currently wearing. Each time you see this little green model person, that marks a costume that you can wear, and it changes your little avatar on the screen. If it does not have the little green guy walking, it defaults to whatever character class you picked up. You also see the set attributes that it will give you, its initial rating and its max rating bonus. And when you look at how these are organized, once you collect all 5 of these costumes, you get an additional little reward. There's your tailoring books and your costume stones. You can not only look at the costumes for yourself, you can also look at the costumes for your heirs. And these, they don't really tell you whether or not there's a matching outfit, which is why I created that original list. You also get rewards for having certain costumes and certain costume sets. You can also look at what your attribute buffs are. This will show all of your buffs for the costumes that you have and what the buffs are for the costume that you're wearing. And as you know, you can always share what costume you're wearing. It will show your name, your server, which is always great. You can preview. Doesn't really let you get to walk around it. But this is generally going to be the best way for you to level up in etiquette. This is how you can become the king or queen of etiquette. Paying attention to your schedule, making sure your costumes are always enhanced to the best of your abilities. Oh, I almost forgot. You can actually use the costume crafting material to enhance your costumes. I strongly suggest against using all of your little costume crafting materials until you have crafted all the available costumes. The orange costume pieces, so far, the only costume that they actually allow you to make is the costume you get when you are emperor. If you go into the shop and you go under the craft tab, this will also show you every single costume you can make. As you can see, all the completed costumes come up first. And then comes the other costumes that are being worked on. It's not it. As you can see, there's lots of costumes you can make. This is the costume you get for being emperor. So far, this is the only costume that actually can be made using the orange boxes. So do not throw those boxes away. Do not use them. Actually, hang on to them until you can create your emperor outfit. And this is another reason why if you say, I want to be emperor to your faction leaders, they're very open to letting you be the emperor for the day or for the week. You're either the emperor for the week or you're not the emperor. When you are the emperor, you do have other responsibilities. But if you are a completionist like I am and you want every single costume in the game, you're definitely going to want to be emperor at least once. And when you go into the purchase shop, there's a couple of different ways to buy some costumes. You have the costumes that cost the neon crystal. And then you also have costumes that cost gold. The costumes that actually cost gold are costumes that you can wear to your wedding ceremony. And when you are scheduled for your wedding ceremony and you go into costumes through the wedding ceremony tags, it allows you to get a discount on the wedding costumes. So if you want to get the wedding costumes, I definitely recommend waiting until you're planning your wedding ceremony and buying the costume from the wedding ceremony catalog instead of the costume catalog. because that's going to actually give you a little bit of savings. Finally, when it comes to etiquette, I do have another guide that I'm working on. Besides the etiquette reference and the costume checklist, I also have this advanced Rise of Queendom clothing guide. This has, first of all, your complete list, which I need to update from the other complete list. It also has each clothing item and what its minimal score is and what its highest score is. This is organized so that all the hair for the female is under one category, and you can run through and you can find which one you're looking for. For all the female costumes, and I mean it, every single female costume, I have the minimal score and the high score. When it comes to the male costumes, I am still working on this. It is a work in progress. But if you are a Patreon, while I am actually working on this one, for this side, for the males, you can still access this file. I will announce as soon as I have finished it, but all the female is completely done in alphabetical order. You can go all the way out to even the obscure attributes to see what will give you the highest score. This, in conjunction with, where was it? The etiquette reference sheet. If you use the clothing sheet with the reference sheet, it's going to give you the best edge that you can have and help you plan things before you actually are sitting here going, well, how am I going to do this here? So it's really, really excellent. You can use everything together, and it's part of why I have built so many different guides and I've kind of separated them, is so that if you're just going for a simple score to say, hey, I've made it all the way through, this is the best way I've felt for giving you as much information as possible so that you can be the best here in etiquette. And I also want you guys to know that with everything that's going on when it comes to my streams, I really appreciate you guys being so supportive of me and so patient with me. If you are enjoying my videos, please give me a like, please give me a follow. If you have friends that play, please point them in my direction, because a lot of this channel is actually so that I can help other players. other players like me, other players, period. If you do decide to be a Patreon, I am working on making sure that you get first access to whatever I'm creating. And there are some guides that are Patreon only guides. But if you have questions for me, feel free to reach out to me in-game. Feel free to reach out to me on Discord. I am more than happy to answer any questions. And I am so excited that we've only been doing this a month and we have almost 10 people who are active in watching the videos, in watching the stream. You guys being there and talking to me and interacting with me is actually the best part of the stream for me, the best part of gaming for me, because I really enjoy meeting you. I really enjoy knowing that I'm helping somebody else and that I'm teaching. I'm still working on getting better equipment. It's going to be piece by piece, but I really do thank you for all of your input, anything that you have to say to me that helps me make my streams better. And thank you for being so supportive. Seriously, the support you give me has actually been helping me keep my drive up to do this, help me keep all the energy nice and high. And I know I might be a goofball sometimes, but I'm glad you guys goof off with me. So I will see you guys again on Monday at 9 a.m. If you're not there for the Monday, you'll also see me on Thursday at 9 a.m. on Twitch. I am hashtagging everything with Rise of Queendom, ROQ. So you can always find me that way, or you can find me under Wrath Baton, because I've made sure that it's the same name across all dashboards and all social media that I'm using. So come and find me, give me a like, say hi, ask me a question, give me some feedback or some ideas on what I can do to make things better. Alright, I'll catch you guys later.